Howdy friendos, TheKrazyJason here, and welcome to my weekly roundup. This week I'm going to talk about some more horror movies that I've added to my to watch for October stack. We're rolling into the last week of October, getting really close to Halloween now, so I thought I was doing really well, but these are the movies that I've watched so far this month. And I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more movies to my original 35. If you care to see my original 35, I will embed a link or put it in the underballs, and you can go and check that video out to see what I'm watching this month. And as always, if you care to leave a video response, and share with me the movies you're going to watch for October, the horror movies, or the movies you're going to watch on Halloween, the actual day itself, our people's holiday. You can leave that on this video, or you can leave it on the original video as well. But before I get to the new movies that I've added to the stack, this is an update. I kept finding movies that I wanted to watch, horror movies, and couldn't help myself. Before I get to those, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the movies I've already watched this October. And like for instance, I've watched The Shining. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm just going to share with you because I've already talked about them and I don't want to get redundant. The Thing, which I'll take a second and say, it looks pretty good on HD, and I assume it looks pretty good on Blu-ray, but it could, it could do with a little bit of treatment. You know what I mean? It could do with a little revisitation of the original camera negative. Yeah. The Lost Boys, this looks surprisingly good. It looks like they applied some light DNR, but at the same time, it looks surprisingly sharp and very colorful. So, I'm just giving you some idea about it. This looks like ass. And this is a movie, and I did watch the 3D version. Yes, I did. What do I say about this? Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. I don't really care for the Jason in this one. He's kind of like, doesn't really act like Jason. I don't really know how to describe that. Just the way he walks, and it just seems like a dude in a costume with a mask. I don't know. That, for those of you fans who love the series, you probably know what I'm talking about. Then again, I could be insulting your favorite Friday the 13th movie. I don't mean to do that. But it was fun, but this is a movie best watched with a group of friends. You know what I mean? I made the mistake of watching this by myself. And while it was fun, you really want to get a group of friends together, put on the glasses, because the picture quality looks like ass, and the 3D looks even worse. But, it's fun. I'm not totally bashing it. It's not my favorite of the series, in other words. I'm waiting for them to put up. Part 4 is what I want on Blu-ray. Okay, next up, 30 Days of Night. Had to go ahead and watch this. I've talked about this over and over again, both myself and OJ over at the Kakalaki Movies channel. Can't say enough good things. This definitely, if you're just getting into Blu-ray, this is, I would place this in a top 10 must-own Blu-rays. I Am Legend, which again, it's just a movie that I can watch over and over. I definitely recommend the alternate ending. Maybe some of you prefer the original theatrical, but I prefer the alternate ending to this movie. I think it makes it a much better movie. And then, of course, I watched, like Book of Shadows, Blair Witch, which I'm not going to get into this because I could take the whole video talking about this movie. At some point, I really do need to do a review of this movie because it's vastly underrated. But this is just a really, really entertaining movie with interesting characters. And but I'll save that for another time, another place, another video. Now, for the stack of movies that I have added to my watch list. That's right. First up, we have 1408, which my good buddy, the Ace Hunter, was kind enough to send me. He sent me a box recently. We did a bit of an exchange, and this is one of the titles that I got from him. This is one of the best Stephen King adaptations. I definitely rank it in the top 10 as far as Stephen King adaptations. And I remember seeing this in the theater and being really impressed. Very enjoyable film. Really good work from John Cusack. Next up, a movie that I absolutely love. It's hilarious. It's awesome. And that's Return of the Living Dead. Dan O'Bannon. I mean, this Dan O'Bannon, I'm so sorry. You know, I hate that he passed away. I wanted to see something else from that guy. For those of you who don't know, he wrote Dark Star with John Carpenter. John Carpenter's his student film that they actually picked it up and released it theatrically. But yeah, if you watch this movie and you go and watch Dark Star, you can see Dan O'Bannon's influence all over that movie. It's more of a Dan O'Bannon movie than it is a John Carpenter movie, in my opinion. Then he went on to write Alien, the original Alien, of course, which is a very serious, dark, scary movie. But this movie here, it's so fucking hilarious and silly. All the characters are so freaking funny and unique and outrageous. And the practical effects and makeup is just fantastic. This is a must-watch. If you haven't seen this, I highly, highly recommend you pick it up. It is out on Blu-ray, and I do want to pick up the Blu-ray version. Hopefully I'll get it by the end of the month. If not, you know, the DVD's fine. It looks good. It's not a cruddy transfer or anything like that. Next up, I'm going to talk about these two right here. The Hills Have Eyes and The Last House on the Left, both remakes of Wes Craven movies. The Hills Have Eyes, this is one movie that has got a pair of nads, you know what I'm saying? It really pushes the envelope. I actually borrowed this from OJ, and I wanted to watch I was at Walmart the other night. I'm going to go off on a little rant here. And they had this on Blu-ray, and they've got a special new setup. I mean, this is YMMB, of course. Walmart's always YMMB. For those of you who don't know, that means your mileage may vary. In other words, every Walmart store is different. But at my Walmart store, they have a setup, and they've got a bunch of Blu-rays there. And they didn't have the price out, and I asked the guy, I was like, those have got to be $5, right? Because I'm assuming, since Target has a whole bunch of $5 Blu-rays right now, Walmart's competing. Oh, no, no, no. They're $10! I'm sorry, but I'm not fucking paying $10 for this. You know, when you can buy, $5 Blu-rays at Target right now. But anyway, looking forward to revisiting that, and this as well. I do like the original. But on both of these movies, I'm going to ruffle some feathers here and say that I prefer the remakes. I mean, if you laid the original and the remake down in front of me and said, which one would you like to watch, I'm going to pick the remakes. This one just takes the idea further, and it's more entertaining, I'm sorry to say. This one, the original is just really dated, and I don't mind that, but I think he made a poor choice with the song in the original, that hippie, and the road leads to nowhere, or whatever that hippie song is. I'm sorry, it just takes me out of the movie, you know, it just, I'm not bashing the originals, I like them, they're good movies. I'm just saying, this right here is really well made. It's very well constructed, a very good piece of filmmaking right here. It's a raw fucking movie though, folks. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure, for people who are easily offended. Next up, I am currently halfway through this, and that's Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween 6, or Halloween 666. Now, I've heard the Blu-ray looks like absolute ass. But, so I've been watching this in my bedroom. Thoroughly enjoy this movie. you know, I desperately want to get my hands on the producer's cut, the fabled producer's cut. I don't know where to go to get it. You know, I know there wasn't an official release, so if any of you folks know how I can get my hands on a copy, a bootleg copy or whatever of the producer's cut, I really want to see it, because, you know, one of the problems is they really tried. They were very ambitious with this movie. They tried to tackle a whole bunch of stuff, and from what I understand, the producer's cut goes into more detail, so things make more sense. And I would love to see that. As it stands, this cut is just really entertaining, and of course you get Dr. Loomis one last time, sadly. So, moving on, The Grudge 2. And this is a steelbook that, again, the Ace Hunter picked up for me at Big Lots. I believe it was $3 at Big Lots for the steelbook. 2-disc limited edition. Is this the Grudge 2 or the original Grudge? Well, I thought it was the Grudge 2, but now it's looking like it might be the original. I'm not sure. I've seen the original, have not seen the second one, so, but it's on my stack. Next up, The Others. Picked this up at Target, of course, for $5. Can't go wrong with this, folks. It's on my top shelf of movies that go-to movies, and I want to see it on Blu-ray. Next up is a movie that I haven't seen since the theater, and I'm hoping the Blu-ray looks good, and that's The Descent. One of the, you know, probably in the top 10 best horror movies of the past decade. Definitely. Original story, good creatures, genuinely scary and creepy. It's rare that a movie can give me genuine, you know, chills, you know, that can truly make me feel a little bit of fear. And this movie can do it. So I'm curious about the home video experience. And then, of course, I picked this up at a pawn shop recently, My Bloody Valentine. This is the original. I still have the remake in there, the 3D version that I plan on watching. But here's the original. Moving on, a movie that I can't believe I left out of my original stack. And that's a movie that I've been chomping at the bit to watch ever since I first laid eyes on it, and that is Near Dark. Love this movie. Somehow I missed it. I can't quite remember. You guys, some of you may remember me reviewing this film way back. A generous YouTuber sent this to me, or actually he sent a box to me and OJ, and I ended up with this. Oh man, I can't believe I missed this awesome 80s movie, but now I've seen it. I'm very happy, and I can't wait to watch it again. Great vampire movie. Now, the last movie I'm going to talk about here today is not a horror movie. This is a movie that John over at the FlickPick channel sent me. We recently did an exchange. I sent him a movie, he sent me a movie. And what he sent me is Fast 5, the Blu-ray. Now, I know a steelbook edition exists of this, but you know what? I actually like the slipcover. It's kind of got a... it's embossed. It's really nice. Like that. Now, I have not watched this movie. I popped it in a few minutes ago while I was eating, and I watched the first scene, and it was phenomenal. I mean, my room was shaking. The surround system was kicking in. PQ looks great. I've heard it's not your average action movie, and definitely not your average Fast and Furious movie. This is... apparently, they really stepped it up in this movie, and one of my rules for the horror movie watching marathon of October is to put something like this in the midst of it. To put a non-horror movie, something very far away from that genre, in the mix, and watch that. Because that just sort of re-kickstarts your desire to watch horror movies. I don't know. That's my theory. That's one of my rules. So this is going to be that movie. Head on over to the FlickPick's channel if you haven't already. Most of you probably know who he is. But if you don't, be sure to check him out, subscribe, and as always, tell them that I sent you. Okay? Alright folks, I think that's it. That catches us up to date on the horror movies of October for me. Again, if you want to leave a video response, they'd be much appreciated. And, oh, I did watch the Halloween movies. I talked about those last week. And one more video to share with you if you haven't seen it. Last week I talked about the original Halloween. And I sort of compared and contrasted to Rob Zombie's remakes, all on Blu-ray. Again, if you want to check that video out, link below. So, that'll do her. Thanks for watching. I'm Crazy Jason, and you've been in my Wacky Emporium.